Hi, Jennifer. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. Thank you for being so patient. I know it's been a little bit of a bunch of hiccups this last month. Finally back on track. Ah, hope I don't jinx myself. So, we're going to talk to Chris today. And you know how I work, but don't forget this is not an exact science, and I've been finding out a lot lately in my readings. They've shifted a little bit, and some of the things you might have to validate with somebody else. If there's somebody else like they're trying to reach out to, it seems like they give you a piece of information that maybe won't make any sense to you, and you will mention it to somebody else, and they'll go, "Oh, I know what that is." So I think they're just trying to stretch their fingers out and get to other people and let them know that they're okay and get a message to them. So he says he loves you. And before I started, because I thought, okay, I don't see you around, and he got right up in my face and he goes, "Can you see me now? I'm right here." Yes. He feels like you need a super big hug. Not a super big hug for love, a super big hug for comfort. I hear him say stress, assholes, like your stomach's tied up in knots. He says, "Where has the time gone?" He says he's hanging around. Charity, something about charity. I don't know if he's talking about the charity that I donated my reading to, or you giving something to charity. Hiccups along the way. Hiccups, hiccups. You, okay. You ask about who your spirit guide is. He says he's one of them. Tell me how. Something about putting little songs in your head. Okay, one of the things he's doing is putting little songs in your head. And he's talking about like bright, happy, bouncy, cheery songs. So when you're kind of having a bad time or something's bugging you, and you get that bouncy song in your head that you can't get rid of, and any time you get a song in your head that repeats over and over and over, sometimes you get one of those just stuck. Google the words to it. Go YouTube it and play it. There'll be something in that song that you need to hear. He says he always picks songs that'll be uplifting to your spirit. The songs that make you want to dance in your chair. He says charity again. I don't think he's talking about your benefit that you had for your granddaughter. He says to let bygones be bygones. Okay, he's showing he's showing you driving. And there's a fly or a bee or something like that buzzing around your head. Oh, now he's making me itch. And every time they get close to my head, I itch. Like I got head lice. Their energy makes me itch. Okay, what about it? He just keeps showing this thing flying around your head like it won't get away, you know, like you just can't get rid of it. So you've either just had this happen or it's going to happen. And he thinks it's funny. I think it's going to be a little bee because he's acting like you're going to be afraid of it. So he thinks that's funny. So when you get this, he's laughing. Tell him, I know that's you, Chris. Don't send me bees. But I love you, and bring me some more signs besides bees. Because I think it's going to be a bee instead of a fly. I always ask him to come up with something more inventive than a butterfly and a feather. And speaking of feathers, I just found one on my floor, in the middle of the floor. I have no idea how it got there. I better go get it off the table before the cat jumps up there and knocks it off or something. So, since I thought of that, watch for feathers. Watch for feathers, and usually they're white feathers. I guess they could be any feather, but usually they specify white feathers that you'll find in weird places, like in the middle of my dining room floor. I don't have a bird. So do the same thing, acknowledge the sign. And once you validate it, that you see them, then you get more, and then it gets to be kind of fun. It gets to be real interesting. So he's been trying to bring you signs. And the feathers won't be like under a tree that has a bird's nest in it, more than likely. It'll be in a weird place, like in the middle of my dining room floor. Anyway, let's move on. He says that you captured his heart. And he goes like this. And he still loves you. He likes your crazy spirit. He likes the way that you are unique. Oh, he's showing me my box. I always talk about don't let people put you in their box. Don't be in somebody's box. You'll suffocate. And I just put a post up about it this morning. He says, happy days are here again. So evidently something's good come along. He says your granddaughter is getting stronger. I haven't seen you guys post anything lately about her, but I've been busy. I haven't really had time to pay attention. He's showing. I've probably explained to you my spiritual charades. They'll show me a picture and I need to describe it to you, and hopefully you'll understand what he's trying, the message he's trying to get across. He's showing a lake but I'm back from the lake a little bit. There's a lot of trees there, but there's a clearing. There's a clearing where I can see the lake. There's grass. There's a little bit of grass in front of me, so I'm back a little ways. I'm not sitting on the shore, and I can see through this clearing. I can see water. Okay, I said lake. I can't see all of the water. I should not have said lake. There's water. And there's a boat, a small boat sitting there, like a little canoe type or kayak type or really, really small John boat. I see fishing poles. He's not saying why he's showing me this picture. I don't know if it's a memory. I don't feel like it's a memory. He says you need to go there. He's not telling me where it is. So maybe it's something you have planned here in the near future that he thinks will be really, really good for you. But if you do go someplace like that, see if the picture looks the same. Hopefully I described it well. I go back and look at these sometimes and I go, man, I didn't describe that well enough. Standing way back, there's grass, you're looking through, and the trees are kind of, it's almost like it's, the opening looks like this because the trees are thick over here, but there's an opening and I can see this boat sitting up on the bank, pulled up on the bank, and water out there. So don't know what the significance is. They do not waste a message. There's always a reason for what they say or show. He says you need to be more careful who you give your heart to. And he's talking about male and female. He says you jump in with both feet, with both sexes. Doesn't mean that you're bi. He's not saying that. He says you jump in without thinking. And he's pushing on the back of my head like he's, you're gonna feel, and it won't feel like a real hand. It'll just feel like a pressure wanting to push your head forward. It's like, what are you doing? You know, like one of those, what are you doing? So if you're sitting somewhere and you feel like your head wants to push forward all of a sudden, just kind of suddenly, stop and think about whatever you're thinking about at the time or whatever you're doing at the time, because he's trying to. My Bob takes a pool noodle, but I can see him, and thunks me over the head every so often and goes, hey, Rhonda, what the hell are you doing? Gets my attention. He says you need a change of scenery. He's also showing a kitchen. He's showing something flying through there. He likes the flying objects, evidently. I feel more like it's an orb. So you might, when you're alone and it's quiet, go to your kitchen, just take some random pictures. Take some random pictures. They're really hard to see on your phone though because the screen's so small. Or even video. Just because you can delete it later, if you don't see anything. Just stand in your kitchen doorway and take a real slow video, or just take a video forwards. It's like I'm standing in the doorway of the kitchen looking towards the kitchen window. And there's something so see if you catch an orb going through there. Okay, he mentions a hairy. I don't get names correct most of the time. So if I say hairy, it's a male with an H or an HA name that he's acknowledging. Now I've got a tickle back here on my back, and it feels like it feels like a hair, and I didn't feel it until just now. But okay, so you will get that. It's down here on the back of my neck, so they usually try to show me the exact spot, and it feels like a hair that I can't get off. That will be now I feel it over here, and I know it might be my necklace, but I didn't feel it a second ago. Anyway, so you'll feel something like that on the back of your neck. It just feels like a hair, and you keep brushing it, and it doesn't go away. Now it's lower on my back. Usually I feel like bugs crawling, but this feels like a hair, but it's still itchy. That'll be another sign from him. He's making me found crumbs. He's making me feel like I need to straighten stuff up in front of my computer. I need to straighten my work area. I need to straighten. It's cluttered. My papers are kind of all. He's making me feel right now like because you need to do that. You need to straighten up the clutter around you. Now it feels like a hair again. Quit it. That's enough. And I found a little crumb. Underneath my papers, and he wants you to. I don't know if he's talking. Quit. I don't know if he's talking about your actual. Oh my gosh, it won't quit. It's getting worse. I don't know if he's talking about your actual papers, actual physical clutter around. This is my work area. Or around your computer. But when I moved it, when I tried to push the papers together, I found a crumb that he wants me to brush off and throw away. So there's some kind of analogy, or I'm not sure that's the right word to use, associated with that. I feel like I need to stop right now and straighten this up. It's a very strong urge. He says declutter your life. Declutter. Make it simple. I heard hang me down, then I heard hang nail. I don't know what that means. He says, okay, he's showing you. He says you have to be the one to turn your life around. You have to physically turn your body and turn your life around and look in another direction. Where are we going with this? He says you're looking down a rabbit hole. You're looking down a rabbit hole. You need to turn around and look in another direction. Okay, he mentions guides. Guides. Every single person has lots of guides. Oh, stop. Now my thing just popped up. Oh, why is it doing this? Hang on. I don't know why that started that. I didn't say anything. Guides. It made the it made the thing pop up where I'm supposed to use my voice to search for something. I don't know why. That happened for a reason, but I didn't see anything on it. I don't know how to associate it with the reading. It just popped up there all by itself. You need to search for something. It was like Alexa. I can't say her name or she'll come on. Or Siri type thing. Something you need to search for. Anyway, back to the guides. He wants me to tell you, everybody has lots of guides. Every single person has lots of guides. And they each have a pretty specific job most of the time. You have a joy guide and depending on what you're doing in your life, some will stay with you your whole life. Most come and go because your life changes, so then that one doesn't need to be with you for this anymore. And then another one will step in because you're going to go do the next step. You're going to go do something else, if that made sense. There's all different categories. Go ahead and Google your guides. And I always tell people, you can ask your past relatives for help. If Uncle Joe was the worst financial guy in the world, don't ask Uncle Joe for help because he hasn't gotten any smarter up there. It doesn't work that way. So if I need financial help, I ask for my stepfather because he was a financial whiz and he knows how it works here. You don't need to know their names. Just say, I need a guide to help me with this. He says you need to talk to your joy guide and ask them to bring things to you. Ask them to bring more joy into your life. Ask them to bring more joyful people to your life to step in front of you. Then it's your free will choice. They can bring you all kinds of things. Then it's your free will choice whether you accept who they bring or go another way. Your path is your path. You can decide to buy the white car or the black car. You can decide to marry a rich guy or the guy that drives a trash truck. I mean, they cannot override your free will choice. But you need to literally, and I can't stress it strong enough, ask. Ask and be willing to accept what comes in front of you shortly after that. Now my ear's tickling like there's a hair there. And I did just have poison oak, but that's not a poison oak itch. He's showing, he's back to this feather, he's showing that he's taking the feather and tickling me. And it's not a hair, it feels like a hair, but he's taking the feather and tickling me in certain spots. He said it would have been nice if we could have hung out longer, but I had to go. That doesn't mean I'm not with you now. And that doesn't mean I can't help you now. I can help you in different ways. I can help you help yourself. So talk to him. He can hear you. I promise you. He can hear you and see you. And he shows himself. Now, I don't know if you're going to know this because it looks like you're already asleep. And it's like you're laying on your right side and you look sound asleep. But he puts his hand here, only he's from the back side, which won't make any difference, but this shoulder's up in the air, and he lays his hand right here as if to just bring you peace and love and comfort you. So you may feel a warmth, coolness, tingling, or just a little pressure. Or you may dream about it. Dreams are dreams, and they're kind of foggy when you wake up, and you forget them shortly after usually. He's not making it sound like it's going to be a visitation, which a visitation is like a dream. But I still remember every detail of mine 7 years ago. Every detail. So if you remember the color of the shoelaces, every word that was said, and it's clear as a bell, that's a visitation. But he's not making it feel like that. He's you having trouble with your vision lately, your eyes? It's like all of a sudden I'm seeing, which I am having trouble with my eyes, but it's like there's almost like a light fog in front of me right now. He's not saying why or what you're supposed to do about it. He says you need to drink more milk. I don't think that has anything to do with your eyes, though. I'm not sure where that came from. He's showing himself. Actually, it's like you're standing and he actually curls up and lays down on the floor in front of you and stays at your feet. He says he's faithful as an old dog, and he's always there for you. Always. And now, right here on my head, I'm feeling like a finger pushing me, just to one spot. And of course, if you don't have somebody like me telling you, you would just poo-poo all that, go, okay, so I've got an itch, so what? Now I'm feeling it right there. That feels more like the hair. I'm getting it on my back. Quit it. Okay, so you're gonna have lots of itching, tickling. It's tickling. It's like I said, like a hair. He's making a big point of it. Just make sure you acknowledge him when you get these feelings. He's going to let you know that he's there. So when you oh my God, he's funny. He told me to lighten up. Okay. He says something about American or Americana. That sounds more like Americana, which I don't even know what that means. So you might watch for that word, or you might hear somebody say it, which that'll be one you don't hear very often. There's also going to be a smell associated with when he's there sometimes. A smell more like a cologne, a certain smell that he had, but he also mentioned a certain perfume that you that you used to wear that he liked? Did he buy you a perfume? He's also telling you need to pull the reins back. You need to pull the reins back and whoa back a little bit. So I don't know for sure what's going on there, but he says you need to pull back a little bit and whoa. He's wanting to push my head forward again. So that's going to be a big attention getter. You're going to feel like somebody's wanting to push you forward. And like I said, they don't have physical fingers, so it's going to feel different. And I don't know exactly how it will feel for you, because I don't know how you're going to accept the energy, or how. Once you start recognizing the signs, then it's a little easier to get the rest of it. I hear the name Haberkamp. Be a name like that. It'll be a name similar at least. I don't know what that's associated with either. Sometimes they just throw out words. It's making me want to arrange my stuff again. I usually ignore this stuff here. When I get done with this, I'm going to have to go clean it up before I can do another reading. So he seriously wants you to declutter and organize. And he says organize your thoughts too. He's showing me a corner. Now, I don't know which hospital your granddaughter's been going to. He's showing me a corner by KU Med. It's the corner. Damn it. I can't remember the names of the streets, and I was just down there about a month ago. He showed me the corner, like when you go kind of between the two hospital buildings, east and west. And if you keep going east, you go into Westport. And I want to say 39th, but don't hold me to that. But when you go, when you're on, I'm bad at directions. Anyway, you're going the road that goes east and west on the north side of KU. If you go to the west, to the other end of the block, that's where Tanner's is on that street. So if you come back to the east, don't go towards Tanner's, go the other way on the other corner of KU Med. Bloop, corner of KU Med. There on the south. I'm going to describe this corner because I'm not sure where we're going with it. On the southeast corner, it's a restaurant. And he's showing me this because I know this restaurant. It used to be Jazz. It used to have a Jazz at Legends. There's a Jazz by Legends, but there's also was a Jazz there, and I noticed the other day it's a different name now, which probably has nothing to do with this. But he's showing me coming from the north, going to the south on the street beside KU. Or this is the one that goes to Tanner's or to Westport. But he's showing me coming south on this street. He's showing me that intersection. Now he's going to make the restaurant a big deal because I've been to the restaurant and that's a landmark I know. It's like I'm sitting at the stoplight. I feel the need to go right towards KU. I don't know. Maybe your granddaughter's there. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. There's nothing bad about it, so I'm not sure why he's acknowledging this corner. Other than it's a corner I know. If that's the hospital that she's been going to, or if you know somebody that's there, or you went to visit somebody that's there or something, because it's not like you're going to be there. It's more like we're driving to it. Then the only thing I can come up with, because he's not saying, is that he's acknowledging that he knows that he's there, that he's with you. He said he's with you in your times of stress, but it's harder for you to feel him. Right. Okay, so it's like when there's grief or a shit ton of stress, it's almost like we put a wall up around ourselves, and we don't, but it's like that. It's like they have trouble getting through to comfort you and let you know that they're there, to let you know that they still have your back. I don't know how to explain it other than kind of like a wall. He wants you to know that he's there. And now I'm going to have to go look and see where she goes. And he could be just saying, even if it's not KU, he could be saying that he goes to the hospital with you, but he's acknowledging a corner that I would know. But he didn't show me St. Luke's, and I know that one. So anyway, he's not explaining it, and that's their spiritual charades. Sometimes they just show me pictures, and we gotta try to figure it out. It's just the way they communicate, and it tickling me again. He's a stinker. He says, "I love you, Jennifer." You had my back when we were here. Now I have yours. He's calling you a character. He says, go back to being a character. And it all of a sudden feels like there's this horribly heavy weight on my shoulders, and it's pushing me down really hard. He says things are going to be okay. Trust and ask. Trust and ask. He wants you to write those words and put them on your refrigerator. Trust and ask. Actually, to me, it ought to be ask and trust, then trust. But he wants you to trust and ask. So put those on the dash of your car, wherever you need to put them to see them all the time. Oh, he says, and put his name beside it. So write down trust, ask, put his name beside it. Put it on a sticky note. Put it wherever you want to. Okay, he's waving. He's going to leave. He wants you to know. Now he's shown himself curled up on the floor again in front of your feet. He wants you to know he's there like the loyal old dog that he always was. Unconditional love, he says. He says we all fuck up. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Put on your big girl panties and move on. He's blowing you a kiss. He's carrying a balloon, but it doesn't say anything on it. Usually when they have a balloon, they'll have a happy birthday balloon or something, whatever the message is. It doesn't say anything. But he's taking it with him. He says he'll be around. Arrivederci. Happy days are here again. Okay, with that he's left. So I hope you got something out of this that validated it was him. He really didn't give a lot of... I only asked him for a couple of validations. I don't like to spend the whole reading validating stuff that we already know. Anyway, thank you for being patient. Thank you so much for being patient. It's been a tough month. For me anyway. Now I gotta get my ass to work. I gotta get caught up. See you later. Much love to you. Don't forget to write the sticky note and watch out for the itching, because it's quit now. He's left and I'm not itching anymore, and I'm not being tickled. And I hear him laughing hysterically from somewhere. Much love to you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. See you later.